What comes to your mind when you hear North Korea? Weapons, military, destruction, and restrictions are what we think of when we hear this word. North Korea is located in East Asia, and to this date remains one of the most repressive countries. Did you know that residents don't even have the freedom to travel around the country? It also uses some of the deadliest weapons known to the world. Without any further delay, let's look at some of the scariest weapons the country has. Let's dive into types of guns and rifles. First up, PPSH-41. The PPSH-41 is a submachine gun and is a cheaper and simplified alternate version of the PPD-40. However, being simpler and cheaper doesn't mean it's in any way less than the PD-40. The rate of fire of this gun is 1250 RPM. Take a guess about its place of origin. For those who don't know, its place of origin is the Soviet Union. It is important to understand that these guns are best for close quarters combat. Now M12903 Springfield. Officially, the U.S. rifle was primarily used in the first half of the 20th century. An interesting fact is that its rate of fire is 15 to 30 rounds per minute depending on the user. The rifle is super smooth and reliable given the worst war conditions. Given its range, it can and was used as a sniper rifle by North Korea. Up next, DSHK, a heavy machine gun with a V-shaped butterfly trigger. DSHK also has its origins in the Soviet Union. The full form of DSHK depicts its designers in large caliber. The rate of fire for this gun is extraordinary. It is about 600 rounds per minute, which is why it's a heavy infantry machine gun. And now RP-46. This gun was designed to provide more firepower than the original DP machine gun. It fires 250 continuous rounds from a pocket belt. If you look at the cyclic rate of fire, it is about 600 RPM for this gun. One setback about this weapon is that due to its heavy weight, it takes time to recoil. This was originally used by the Soviet Union, but it was also produced in North Korea under licensing. How is this possible, you ask us? Well, North Korea and the Soviet Union were allies. Next on the list, Type 58 assault rifle. This assault rifle is only made in North Korea. An interesting fact is that it was derived from the AK-47, which is also a weapon designed by a Soviet designer. Alongside PPSH-41, this was one of the first weapons made in the country under license. The known effective range of the weapon is about 400 meters. It weighs 3.8 kgs and has a rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute. Now Type 73 light machine gun. This machine gun was designed and also manufactured by North Korea's First Machine Industry Bureau. Fully automatic and having a rate of fire of about 600 to 700 RPM, this proves to be super deadly. A truly surprising thing about this machine gun is that it weighs more than 10 kgs. Yes, you heard us right. The machine gun is not exactly light, as the name may suggest. Next up, nuclear warheads. Nuclear weapons have been North Korea's major bargaining tool for quite a while now. Just between 2006 and 2017, they conducted 6 underground nuclear tests. Under the government of Kim Jong-un, their arsenal has been increasing at a rather fast rate. The last 4 nuclear tests were conducted under Mr. Kim's rule. If we go back to January, the country had 40 to 50 nuclear warheads. This is just enough fissile material for 6 or 7 bombs a year. This is not our prediction. This was estimated by the Arms Control Association. Next, biological weapons. As horrifying as it sounds, North Korea is a party to both biological and toxin weapons. For those who are not familiar with the magnitude of destruction these weapons can cause, let us explain a bit. If used on a huge scale, these weapons can cause thousands of deaths and even paralyze generations. No one can accurately assess the threat that North Korea possesses with its biological weapons. Nuclear threats can be examined by the number of tests conducted. You'll be surprised to know that the same is not the case with weapons of biological warfare. According to certain assessments, the state started acquiring biological weapon capability as early as the 1960s. The biological program is known to be built in secret. News from North Korea is limited. The government controls every bit of information that leaves the country. The world only hears what they want it to hear. This is why, due to the opacity of the country's regime, we don't have accurate information on the biological program. North Korea's People's Army's inventory may include agents like Bacillus anthracis, Clostridium botulinum, hantavirus, Vibrio cholera, and variola. They have also hinted that they may have biotechnology expertise. And now moving on to the Koksan. One of the world's biggest guns, the massive Koksan is a weapon of mass destruction. It is North Korea's longest-range non-rocket artillery weapon. A 170mm and self-propelled artillery gun, the Koksan was developed locally and is not exported or anything. It is among the world's lesser-known and somewhat secret armored vehicles. Take a wild guess at which country identified this weapon first. It was none other than the United States. The U.S. and Western intelligence identified and also labeled it in 1978. This is why it's often referred to as Koksan M1978. Let's move on to the long-range missiles now. First up, Hwasong-6. Many of the North Korean weapons seem to be derived from Soviet weapons. The same is the case with Hwasong-6, as it was derived from R-17 Elbrus. Hwasong-6 is a tactical ballistic missile. It has a staggering range of 500 kilometers. You'd be surprised to know that as of 2017, Mr. Kim announced that they had the ability to launch an attack on the USA. Hwasong-14 and 15 were test-fired. Let us tell you the details about these missiles. Next, Hwasong-14. Hwasong-14 weighs about 5 to 600 kgs and is an intercontinental ballistic missile. How is was the missile launched? The missile can be launched from a detachable platform which is on a concrete pad. North Korea is the only known operator of this missile as of now. And now, Hwasong-15. Hwasong-15 is also an intercontinental ballistic missile and weighs approximately 72,000 kgs. The missile reached a height of 4,475 kilometers, and it flew for about 53 minutes, according to the government. Not only this, Hwasong-17 is among the newest missiles in possession of North Korea. Next, Hwasong-17. Hwasong-17, the country's largest known intercontinental ballistic missile, was shown during a military parade in October 2020. However, this hasn't been tested yet. Now, chemical weapons. Chemical weapons are just as deadly as they sound. North Korea is believed to have chemical weapons. These weapons include sulfur mustard, phosgene, chlorine, and sarin. The country can produce blister, nerve, blood, and choking agents. Weapons between 2,500 and 5,000 tons are expected to be in the country's possession. The question is how these toxins can be fired. They can be fired using your conventional shells, aircraft, missiles, and even rockets. Now that we have talked about this, ever wondered how the Army protects itself from chemical warfare? There must be some way, right? The answer to this is that the Army manufactures its protective suits and detection systems to detect these weapons. Have other countries aided North Korea's weapons program? The nuclear program is carried out domestically all in all. However, it has received external funds and assistance over the years. Pyongyang's nuclear development was assisted by Moscow from the 1950s to the 1980s. For those who don't know, Pyongyang is North Korea's capital and is the largest city in the country. Moscow's assistance helped build a whole nuclear research reactor and light water reactors as well. Let's discuss foreign assistance in the 1970s. China and North Korea joined hands over the defense. Moreover, both these countries cooperated in the development and production of various ballistic missiles. Scientists have also hugely benefited from academic exchanges with the scientists of China and the Soviet Union. We cannot for sure say that these academic exchanges were directly linked to the development of weapons. However, this information and research could have been very useful for a militarized nuclear program. According to multiple sources, Pakistan has also been a huge military collaborator with North Korea over the years. We'll need to go back a bit in time. During the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988, nuclear assistance between both countries began. Pakistan's centrifuge technology was learnt by North Korea, and in exchange for this, Pakistan received the country's incredible missile technology. Now the future of these scary weapons and warfare. According to U.S. officials, North Korea will go ahead and soon conduct more nuclear tests, and this will raise tensions a lot. The country has been hands-on working on a lot of weapons strategically. These include tactical weapons, ballistic missiles, and warheads. Why would North Korea continue to want to do this? Gaining political support, ensuring weapon performance, and provoking the U.S. and its allies are some of the many reasons. They will also make sure to use many of the strategies to create a sort of crisis on the Korean peninsula. This will help it in gaining leverage in future negotiations with the U.S. Mr. Kim has also promised to resume joining military exercises with the U.S. Since 2018, these exercises have been spread out or toned down due to the pandemic and to preserve diplomacy's chances. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on the scariest weapons wielded by North Korea? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.